Do you ever feel stuck when trying to speak English, even though you've learned so many words? You might remember the meaning, but when it's time to use them in a conversation, your mind goes blank. Sounds familiar, right? Imagine if you could grow your vocabulary daily without feeling overwhelmed. How much more confident would you feel while speaking? Vocabulary is the backbone of any language. It's what helps you express your thoughts, ideas, and feelings clearly. The more words you know, the more fluent and natural your communication becomes. But here's the challenge. Learning new words is one thing, but using them effectively in daily life is another. In this video, I'm going to share practical, easy-to-follow strategies that will help you build your English vocabulary every single day. Whether you're a beginner or looking to take your fluency to the next level, these tips will give you the confidence to speak English effortlessly and naturally. Let's get started. Does this sound familiar? You spend hours memorizing new words, but when it's time to have a conversation, those words seem to vanish from your memory. Or maybe you've learned a word, but you're not sure how to use it naturally in a sentence. You're not alone. These are struggles almost every language learner faces. Memorizing long vocabulary lists feels like hard work, and the worst part, it often doesn't stick. Or perhaps you're unsure about which words to prioritize, making the entire process feel overwhelming. But here's the good news. Building your vocabulary doesn't have to be frustrating or complicated. In this video, I'm going to show you some easy and practical strategies to overcome these challenges so you can grow your vocabulary and use it confidently in real-life conversations. Let me tell you about James. James had been learning English for quite some time, and while he knew a decent number of words, he always felt stuck when speaking. He'd study hard, write down word lists, and even spend hours on flashcards, but when it came to real conversations, he couldn't recall the words he'd learned. It was frustrating, and he started doubting if he could ever improve. One day, James decided to change his approach. Instead of just memorizing words, he began focusing on using them in context. He started small, reading short articles and paying attention to how new words were used. He also made it a habit to write sentences using those words and practice them in conversations with friends and language partners. After a few months, James noticed a big difference. Words that used to feel unfamiliar started flowing naturally in his speech. He could express his thoughts with confidence and understand others more easily. His vocabulary wasn't just growing, it was becoming practical and useful in everyday life. James's story shows that success isn't about memorizing lists, it's about practicing consistently and using words in real-life situations. And in this video, I'm going to share the same methods James used so you can see similar results in your own journey. Now, let's dive into the practical part. Here are 5 simple yet powerful tips to help you grow your vocabulary every single day. Forget about memorizing random words from a list. Instead, focus on learning words in context. For example, if you come across a word while reading a short story or watching a video, pay attention to how it's used in a sentence. This helps you understand its meaning and usage naturally, making it easier to recall later. Here's a golden rule: if you don't use it, you lose it. Practice using the words you've learned in your daily conversations. It could be with a friend, a language partner, or even by talking to yourself. The more you use these words, the more natural they will feel. Reading is like a treasure hunt for new words. Choose books, articles, or stories that interest you, and you'll naturally encounter vocabulary that's relevant and engaging. When you find a word you don't know, try to guess its meaning from the context before looking it up. Keep track of new words you encounter by writing them down in a notebook or on your phone. But don't just list them, write example sentences to see how they work in real life. Review your list regularly to keep these words fresh in your mind. Why stop at one word when you can learn an entire family? For instance, if you learn the word beauty, also explore beautiful, beautify, and beautifully. This approach helps you expand your vocabulary faster and makes it easier to use related words in conversations. Start applying these tips today, and you'll see how quickly your vocabulary grows. But remember, consistency is key. A little progress every day adds up to big results over time. Now that you have these practical tips, it's time to take action. Pick one tip and start today. For example, grab a short story, highlight a few new words, and learn them in context. Then, Challenge yourself to use those words in a conversation or even write a sentence with them. Consistency is key, so make it a daily habit. Remember, small steps every day lead to big improvements over time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our daily English tips. And I'd love to hear from you. Share your favorite way to build vocabulary in the comments below.